All right, welcome back, everyone. Shill Bill here again, the part 2 for this week's videos. I'm just going to break them up so they're not half an hour videos. So this part is, I'll put my breeder manager hat on for a bit and just sort of go through what I'm doing personally with breeding and expanding scholarships and things like that. So in that last vid that we had I'll just bring the chart back up real quick. But I've been expanding the whole way down. All right, one of my mentors, very, very smart people in MBA, recently put out a quote, and it was just, wealth is made in a bear market and then realized in a bull market. So for me, expanding the whole way down, I don't want to be selling SLP here. I don't want to be selling SLP. I want to be using it to breed and have more and be generating more SLP the whole way through. If we look at it in US dollars, it's probably a better, these charts are so, this one blue. So if we're looking at it in US dollars and actual money and how I'm running this as a business, I'm expanding the whole way down until we start making bullish market structure and still actually fix their burn mint problem, which we looked at last video. And we start getting that bullish market structure, and SLP actually, starts trending upwards and starts creating those higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows. Good bullish market structure, and we come back and we claim parts of all, even from here. Where's this one starting at 15 cents, all the way back up to 10 cents. Anything over 10 cents, I'm definitely taking as profits. But all the hard work that I do the whole way down, expanding. And creating more Axies, more scholars, buying up all the floor Axies for 0.02 ETH, and giving a bunch of my scholars, giving them enough Axies so they can, the ones that are crushing it, giving them a stack of Axies to be able to have a crack at top 1,000 and things like that, and earning 500, 600 SLP a day because they've got the energy and they've got the teams. All that SLP that I'm earning the whole way down, as long as I'm not selling it for actual money and profit down here, once it starts going up, say my ROI here is 5 months, right? And all the Axies that I've been breeding, all the scholarships that I've been filling all through this whole period here, has been 5 months ROI because SLP price sucks. Looking at this in US dollars at the moment, if it's 5 months, if we can get SLP back to here, the ROI and all the hard work that I've spent on here, when SLP finally gets itself together, I'm going to realize all of that in 2.5 months. So my ROI for all the stuff I've spent here, I'm going to get that all back in 2.5 months. It goes up 200%. We get back to that 10 cent mark. Which is where I'd love SLP to get back to. All the hard work that I've been doing here, I get that back, plus I get the gains from here. So for me, the hard work gets done in the bear market, and then once we go into the bull market, I start taking a lot more profits, and I start realizing all that hard work that I've been doing in that bear market once we turn bullish again. All right, let's have a look at what I'm doing for breeds. So full 4x breed. Now it's 2 AXS plus 16. Okay, so these are the new amounts. So if I'm breeding 4 times per pair on the versions, it's going to cost me 16,200 SLP and 2 AXS. So when SLP was at 4.5 cents when we did the last video, which would have been 2 weeks ago, it's dropped 30% since then, down to 3.1. So in ETH terms, I'm going to still be breeding 4 times now that the price of Axies, off the marketplace, has significantly gone up over the last week or so. Not for floor, but for all the things that are pretty meta at the moment. I know that's all probably going to change, and I'm going to have to go back and reshuffle what I'm breeding for a farm, for my scholars. But at the moment, it's costing me, on average, per breed. So for each Axie, it's going to cost me about 0.043 ETH. Now, the way I normally expand is that I breed 4, I sell the worst 2, and then keep 1 for a swinger, rebreed that next time, the ABCD method. And then the 2 worst Axies that I get, I'm hoping that sale of those Axies is going to be close to 0.086, which basically gives me a free breed every 5 days, and then I can use those free breeds to just put into scholars. So all the Axies that are bred 4 times, once I breed them, they go to scholars. We keep 2 virgins, sell the other 2. As long as we can get close to 0.086, I'm basically getting free scholars every 5 days. Now, for a while there, that just wasn't happening because I couldn't get, like, it didn't matter what I was breeding. There just wasn't enough volume in things to be able to breed every 5 days and then sell them for 0.08. No one was buying for 0.08. Everyone started having a bit of a panic, but there's a few that are now going to be profitable to breed, and also good teams for scholars as well. So what I'm looking at the moment is going to be the double aquas, the anemones, and the hairbird. To get the good thing is to get the initial farm set up. Still pretty expensive, but that means that you'll be able to sell them on the marketplace. So using the EBC analyzer, and this is the one we're using here. So the birds, which is the hair, either post-flight or hair. I think we've got, the hair ones are down here as well. Twice the amount of volume here, so that's selling, twice the amount of volume on that, and it's second still to Duskinators, and I'm a little bit surprised with that the Duskinators are still like the most bred thing, but the other one is going to be those anemones and Nemos. So if we rank up the EBC score, so I'm pretty much breeding printers, so I'm hoping that the 2 worst ones that I'm going to be selling on the marketplace are going to be between 95 and 100 on the EBC score, which is like the R1, R2s. We're looking at an average ETH price of 0.0913. Now, if we go back to this, like, I need 0.086 to be basically getting free scholars every 5 days. So the average price here, looking pretty good. If we go through and have a look at, if we're getting the ones that are 96s, which are most likely the ones that we're going to be selling the worst 2 from the 2 printers. Occasionally we're going to get some pretty rough mutations and just cop a loss. But a lot of them, 0.072, 0.08, 0.073, they're still selling for around the 0.08, which for me is close enough to be able to get, like, it's going to cost me what, 0.012 ETH or something like that, or it's barely anything to be able to get a free scholar. Like, that's how much a scholarship is costing me. So if you're breeding right, at the moment, back going well. And the anemones, let's have a look. I haven't checked these yet, but I think they're still pretty good, not great. But you only have to have sort of 1 farm with this as well, and the bird does make up for it. And the team with the 2 anemones and the bird, if we're looking at the hairbird, I think that does go for a little bit more. Let's have a look, 0.08. So the birds are where the money's really getting made. I should probably have a look at the beasts. I want to look at the mechs. The mech Rimps also doing quite good. So I've got a farm of I've got a bunch of stuff, and if things come out, depending on what it does. So post lights I'm putting with mech Rimps, and then just sort of any tank. And then the hairbirds will go with the post lights. So I can sort of crossbreed the 2. Not really looking to sell, any more than 2 of them. So that's what I'm kind of looking at as my manager breeder, but taking full advantage of the EBC analyzer and just making sure that I'm breeding things that have enough volume, and then the average ETH price is doing quite well as well. So I think the Bidens, I've got some Bidens on a farm as well, doing pretty good. Dropping a little bit, but still the average price is quite good, and I picked up some real cheap printers on the Bidens. Alright, so that's what I'm doing for my breeding and sort of expanding my scholarship, making sure I use the EBC analyzer, making sure I'm breeding the right teams. You know, those teams, the anemones or the dusk and the post-flight birds, most scholars should be able to be, you know, holding 1600 MR with those teams. So that's what I'm breeding out at the moment. You know, everything obviously changes as soon as version 2 comes out and we get those extra 2 cards, which I'm guessing is going to be something that happens. But when that happens, hopefully we see the price of SLP come up, so I don't mind spending some money on a new farm and figuring out what the new meta is. So ratio flipped of SLP and ETH. So before it was more the dollar amount of AXS in a per breed when it was 1 AXS was higher than the SLP. It's flipped now to like it was 3-to-1 ratio, coming down a little bit now, about 2.5, 2 and a bit. So the more that the SLP ETH pair dies, like the more that this falls, the lower a breed cost is going to be in ETH. So we are at the mercy now of you know, how much a breed costs. If SLP dumps to half again, it's going to be 60, and it's going to be like 0.026-ish, 27 per breed. So if you can still get these prices, you'll be making a fortune breeding. I think that's pretty much about it. Last part here. So breeds went from 0.056, that's what we just talked about, to 0.043. So because SLP is still dying and it's the dominant part, or the lion's share part of a breeding cycle now, you know, a breed cost is now 20% less in ETH and also in USDT, because ETH hasn't really done too much against the US dollar. Alright guys, hopefully that was insightful as well for my breeder manager hat, but make sure you're using EBC Analyzer if you're not a member yet. Definitely jump in and grab it. It's you know, you have to know what you're breeding at the moment. You know, you could be breeding, you know, depends what you're breeding. You could be breeding something that's, you know, that's really trending down and you're just getting nothing for it. All right, so you could be breeding something like this and you're just not getting enough, and the volume's just not there either for you to be able to sell enough from your breeding cycle. So Duskinators still doing pretty good, but because the market's flooded now, price going down, and you can see here 0.038, that's what they're selling for. And if we look back at our thing here, 0.043. Like, why are you breeding Duskinators if you can just buy them on the market for cheaper? Like, and this way, when you're breeding, all you're doing is risking a mutation, and it's costing, like, it's just costing you more money to be able to breed a Duskinator than it is to just go and buy off the marketplace. And the thing is, here we're still got it. This at the 95. You know, we could rip the score right down, and you'll see, like, it's just less, right? So everyone that's breeding these are currently selling them for a loss. Alright guys, I hope that's helpful. Jump in, get yourself one of these memberships and figure out the things to breed so you can keep making money in Axie. Alright, later guys.